Welcome back, Gundam guys and Gundam gals. PatrickGrade here from GGInfiniteNews.com. This time bringing you part 2 of the video review for the MG Gundam Sandrock Endless Waltz version. We've seen all the stuff broken apart and how you look separately. So let's put everything together and take a look at the completed mobile suit and all its weapons. But before we get started with that, I realized watching the video last night when I was uploading it that I forgot to go over the hands. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. The Sandrock uses the typical MG Wing Gundam modular hand design. We get 2 palms and thumbs, and to that we can attach one of 4 different poses for the fixed fingers. We have open hand, we have open fingers here, clenched fist, one to hold on to the machine gun, and then one to hold on to the shoulder handles. So there's a total of 4 sets. So it gives us nice options for posing. And while this method loses the posable fingers themselves, I think it's a much better idea to have them fixed like this. That way they can hold onto the weapons a lot better and just become more functional. And if you really wanted to have the movable fingers, you can of course buy the mechanical hand sets to get that functionality back. I'll take a look at these hands in a review here coming up soon, so be on the lookout for that. So also in the first video I didn't show these parts of the leg separately, so you can see we have a pretty sturdy ankle piece here that plugs of course into the bottom of the leg armor, and then the feet attached to that. All very strong connections, so there's not anything that's going to fall off there. Maybe this front piece of armor pops off every once in a while if you bend the foot up forward enough, but the side guys are on there very well. And the front armor just goes in place real easily, so nothing too bad there. And on the bottom of the torso, there's also a connection point for the adapter for the action base, so you can just plug that into there. I think you can leave that in place too if you wanted to. You don't have to take this on and off. It doesn't really get in the way of anything, but if you wanted to leave that there, you could. So I find it's easiest to plug in the legs by taking off the side skirts first, and then plugging in the hip joint till you feel a little click, and then just slide that joint into place. Reattach the side skirts. And you have a very solid connection there. Nothing's coming off or loose or anything, so it's all really good. Then after you plug in the lower torso to the upper chest, plug that assembly into the torso, of course. Then attach the shoulders and of course the head. And that gives you a very solid looking MG Gundam Sandrock. So looking at it from the front, the MG Sandrock has a very nice silhouette. The shoulder armor goes a long way to differentiate it from other Gundams, and as well as the side skirts with their unique little points jutting out there. But from the side it's pretty plain. There's not a lot going on without the backpack. It's just kind of straight up and down except for the little protrusion of the chest here. With the highly movable front skirts, you can get the leg to come out quite a bit, about that far. The knee armor kind of gets in the way, so you have to move this out of the way quite a bit. You get a nice backwards bend as well, way more than necessary. The shoulders can of course rotate 360 and pop out about that far thanks to the rocking joint side there. The head is pretty limited. You can probably force it all the way around if you wanted to, but I don't really think it's necessary. So you get pretty decent side-to-side movement, as well as some double joint action that going on there. And it can look up far enough and down almost at his feet. The shoulder can reach across his chest pretty well. And you get a decent twist, side-to-side twist. You can go all the way around if you really wanted to. And the ankles are pretty much the same, nothing changes there. So all in all, the articulation is pretty good on this. I say you'd be able to get whatever poses you're looking for without too much trouble. I'm really happy with how well the side skirt stays together. I was afraid these little purple pieces would pop off quite easily if it came up here too far. But as long as you have them snapped in place securely enough, they'll stay on just fine. As well as these little protrusions on the side here. All this stuff stays together really well, which is always a good thing. It's frustrating when you have a master grade that looks great, but it falls apart really easily, especially in areas like the hips and the ankle armor and stuff. So this is a good surprise. So you can attach the beam machine gun to the back of the torso here using the slot and the peg on the stock of the beam machine gun. Just kind of peg it into place. It doesn't feel like a very secure connection, but it stays in pretty well. Just don't touch it and it'll stay there just fine. You can kind of see how it should have fallen into place a little bit more, but the design of this doesn't allow it to get much more flush with the torso than that. But it should work okay. So for the backpack, you can go and load up the shoulders if you want to. Simply flip down the locking mechanism and have the handles facing down as well. Just peg them in place that way and lift these up a little bit. So you get a nice secure connection. I don't know how much these things actually do to keep it in place, but you don't really need to worry about it because the peg and hold works really well. And if you wanted to change the blades from the activated to the unactivated version, it's real simple. Just pull them out. They just kind of slide into place and lock in really well. And as long as you get the grooves lined up, you shouldn't have a problem. So that's all there is to the assembling the backpack. And the backpack, of course, is real simple as well. Just plug that into place and you have the backpack installed. And with the backpack in place, from the side it looks a lot better. Much more filled out. Maybe a little too much, but it's not so bad. And it doesn't change too much from the front. You can kind of see it poking over the shoulders here. But the blades line up pretty perfectly with the legs following up and down there, so only from the side or at an angle can you really see them. And even though the backpack and shoulders aren't very heavy, it can sometimes add a little counterbalance to the kit, so you have to move around just a little bit to get it standing up right. But it's not so bad. And then finally, we can attach the shield by having the peg in its normal place there. And then on either forearm, just slide it into place. And there we have a fully loaded up Gundam Sandrock. I need to add a little top coat or something to this piece to shore up the connection there. But other than that, it looks really nice. Just standing there. So let's go ahead and remove the shoulders and plug them into the hands and see how they look that way. Just move down the lever there and pull it straight out. So both the shoulders and the machine gun handles have kind of a unique slot system. They're along the edge here, not along the side. So they're very skinny, but they should hold in place just fine. And by taking the fixed pose with the peg along the knuckles here, Just slide into place that way. So this is the benefit of having these modular hands like this. With the fixed post fingers, the really secure slot, and the weight of the machine gun here, it's not going anywhere. This is stuck in place until you pull it out. So there's no balance issues at all. You're not going to have to worry about the fingers opening up and dropping the gun. So it's a very effective way of holding on to the weapons. So by plugging the beam machine gun into the modular hand, you get a really nice effect, a very secure connection that allows for some really cool posing. And even though it's a pretty simple weapon, it looks really nice in this context. The stock is a little too long. It kind of goes way deep into the elbow area there. Actually back into the shoulder. So it can kind of be cumbersome to pose it right. But there are a few cool poses you can pull off with it. And the shield looks nice too. It's small enough, but it covers up his left side quite a bit. So it's a small functional kind of thing. And again, there's absolutely no weight to the machine gun at all. And that stock kind of comes off pretty easily. But of course you can get some nice full extended arm poses and everything. So all in all, I think it's a nice addition to the kit. Nothing major, but it fits in pretty nicely with the motif. And with the shield and the beam machine gun, you can see on the edge here we have, on two spots here, we have a place to plug in the peg on the machine gun. So this is where I'd mentioned before that it would have been nice to have two machine guns just for the fact to make this part symmetrical. But overall it's a pretty cool effect. And just another option to go along with your choices here. So this is going to have to be a three-parter, I guess. I'll go and wrap up part 2 here and come back tomorrow to take a look at the shodels and their posability and just overall thoughts and opinions on the kit. So sorry for making it too long, but I'll finish it up tomorrow and I'll see you then. Thanks a lot.